Well, I trust a great deal to instinct. I don't think too consciously about it. I feel stuff like that is going to come out. You know, archetypes are going to appear in your work. What matters is to dig very deep, to go really deep into yourself, to go all the way with what thrills you and excites you. You don't have to know what it means. You don't have to fully understand the symbolism of something or why it's an archetype. If you're exploring your deepest fears, what really gives you pleasure, what excites you, these things are going to emerge. They're going to be there. Now, you can't entirely shut off your critical faculty. You may see the symbolism happening on the page, and perhaps you want to consciously impose it. You know, I mean, I think what you do what works. You do what works. If it works for you to think in those terms, to think about the symbols, then make that work for you. But for me, what works is that sliding into the work instinctively and that trusting. I'll give you an example. In my novel, Feast of All Saints, this young woman, Marie, was violently assaulted. And after the assault, when she is really totally traumatized, everything she picks up to eat or drink, she sees it as having bugs in it. And I don't know why I wrote that, I just did. Well, finally she gets over it, but for a while there she can't touch anything without seeing loathsome insects in the food and so forth. Well, somebody can come along and say, well, don't you know that a fear or horror of insects is symbolic of sexual loathing of sexuality. Well, I didn't really consciously think of that. It just happened with Marie as I was trying to get into her mind and think of her suffering and what was going on. And I never really consciously thought of it until afterwards when I was reading the draft. I thought, yeah, of course, she's been assaulted, she's been brutalized, she's trying to reclaim herself, she's seeing these bugs in the food, and she's got to get over that kind of tragic reaction. So, I mean, I think these things will emerge as you write. It's a matter of putting yourself where the character is, putting yourself in the place. Then they happen. Does that make sense to you? Do you see?